What's good? NYALLAH here, and welcome to When We See Each Other.
Hello, world. My name is Nikkiesha McLeod, and you're listening to When We See Each Other, presented by Stereoactive Media. When We See Each Other is a podcast that focuses on music and art by BIPOC, queer, trans, and non-binary artists, as well as artists I've met and known for some time. This episode, we're interviewing R&B soul singer-songwriter NYALLAH. First, we'll play a sneak peek to NYALLAH's soon-to-be-dropped dope track, Motherland. Then, we'll jump right into the interview. Here we go.
Ready? Yeah.
I'm like a hero, no cape. I could tell that you're not doing so great. Don't try to wash all your feelings away. Wish you well that you were healing and safe. Like these colonizers have no disgrace. I have no fear, I'll get all in your face. You know that some of my ancestors fought you, and they put you on the ground like a horseshoe. Dancing all over your grave. It's not my soul you were trying to save. Yo, this road is covered in silver and gold, and I got more roads to pave. Paint the pretty scriptures, make my city wishes. Protect the home, and this is tradition. Protect the mother, my intuition. Dancing only to these rebel rhythms.
I do my dance, watch me chant, shout and free us all. Don't give a damn what they saying, we unbreakable. My people golden, they free. You can never step to we, yeah. I do my dance, watch me chant, channeling the motherland, land, yeah.
Mamai, Daidai, Anyai, Aya, Kucho, Belas, Chayai, Aiba, Munai, Pintai, Yamkai, Bacha, Mama, Belas, Chayai, Mamai, Daidai, Anyai, Aya, Kucho, Belas, Chayai, Aiba.
Welcome back to When We See Each Other, NYALLAH. Great to have you back.
Thank you.
Seriously.
I
Like,
appreciate
seriously.
it. It's been
And
so
this,
long. I've grown
I
so
know,
much.
right? It's just
I was
like,
I was a real youngin. Now I'm still a youngin, but I'm a older youngin.
oh my God. And then also leading up to this interview, it was just
Yes.
like, it was kind of like a little struggle, right? It
No,
was just like,
honestly.
I was just
So
like,
much
is
was
this,
going on. So much is still
I
going
I
on.
know. I was just like, is this really gonna happen? And
Yeah,
I
no,
kind of felt
it was
really
happening.
sad.
I know.
I felt really sad. I was just like, no.
No, I know. I was like, I feel like for me, at the end of last year, I was really trying to put things, or not trying, I was actively putting things in place, activities and different ways of being and practices that I'm now like actively embodying. But I think one of those things back then was me being like, I want to make sure that I'm able to like fully commit to something when I say I'm going to do something, like, and be able to fully show up and be present. I never, I'm realizing I'm not one of those people I'm not a casual person. I'm not like a half-ass person. I'm a person who like, if I'm going to do the thing, I commit to the thing. So yeah, I think in order to honor that, I gotta make sure that in moments when I'm like, yo, I just don't have the spoons, I can say that and not really feel shame about that either. So thank you for being flexible. I say all that to say.
Of course, of course. So I wanted to, start off by asking, since, we're dealing with a lot of things right now, and we'll get into most of them. But I wanted to ask, how are you and yours doing since the LA fires? Like, how are you guys doing?
Thank you for asking. I don't know. I can't even say that I'm like okay or that we're okay. I don't think we're really gonna be able to measure the level of impact of the fires, whether it be the land and the plants and the nature lost and and the homes, or if we're talking about like the air quality and like, so many things that myself and a lot of other people in my life, like there's so many like hiking places that we're not able to go to anymore. And like there's just certain things like I have friends who like their elementary schools are completely like gone. Their
Yeah,
grandparents' homes gone, like their
yeah,
aunts' homes, like the home that like has been in the family for generations.
right,
And these are black folks, black and brown folks, and it's already challenging to be able to get access and
yeah,
resources. And so I think it's just I feel okay. Like I'm thankful that all of my friends, even the ones who like live in Pasadena or Altadena, like they, for the most part, are okay, like, they have their homes. A lot of people I know, like, their family homes were lost, which I think is, like, extremely devastating. My family, we don't live like, my family's not, from over there, like, my family's more from, like, Ladera Heights, Inglewood, more central, like, in the city of Los Angeles, and then my mom is, like, out in the valley. So, like, for the most part, they're not really affected, but, I have a lot of loved ones, like my partner, for example, like, they work in Santa Monica. I have friends who, like, live in Pasadena, who record in Pasadena, who are still impacted by the fires, or, like, they have projects that are postponed. They already are, like, disabled, like, whether it be physically or like in terms of like like accessibility or like air quality, and like being able to like have asthma and stuff. And so I think it's just been really challenging. Um, I am thankful that I don't want to say. I mean, I'm thankful that like no homes or anything like that in my immediate family were impacted. But I think it's just a weird place to be in right now, where it's like when people are like, "Oh, like, are you impacted?" or like, "Are you okay?" It's like, I mean, we're all impacted, even if we don't recognize it. And so it's like that's why it's hard for me to be like, "I'm not impacted," but it's like I'm very specific of being like, "Well, no, like, it's not like a home or anything was lost," but it's just very challenging. I think it's been a very difficult time. Like, the energy in the city is very low right now. It's very
mm,
not what LA is. It's very, like, quiet to a degree. It sucks because, people still gotta work, niggas still gotta work, and so it's like, I think we haven't really had time to really mourn because it was kinda like, "Okay, all this happened, it's still happening, the fires are still burning right now," as
right,
we say this on, like, January 23rd. This is all taking place, and also, like, we have to keep working because we have bills, and we're living in such a trifling time in American history.
yeah, exactly,
Um, and so it's just really hard, and I think, like, I'm really grateful for the things that I do have, the people I still have. I'm still able to, like, check in with my loved ones, see how they're doing, seeing how I can support them, with, like, sharing resources or just providing them with whatever. So, we're just doing our best. I'm thankful that I just moved back to LA, like, a couple months ago, and so I'm happy that I'm here while this is happening, because I think it would have been a whole other different level of anxiety if I was on the East Coast. But I think also just like witnessing all the ways that people are showing up for each other, and the ways that people are just like, "Oh, our government isn't giving us the necessary funds. Okay, we're just gonna like buy the things. We're just gonna be the thing that we need to see." These incarcerated firefighters who I hope are all fucking pardoned and get out like tomorrow. Like the minute they're done with the fires are out.
right,
And
right,
so I think that has been very affirming. I think being from Los Angeles, it's like a definitely a reminder of like what we know as locals is the culture of LA. So I think that's been really affirming. I think that's been really cool, but I'm still navigating. Like I got therapy next week. I'm gonna talk to my therapist, and hopefully I have a better answer for you that isn't just a bunch of like not even word vomit, but just like endless thoughts. But that's just the space I feel like we've all kind of been in, is like It's like, you can't even say like, "Oh, you're fine." Or
Right.
like even saying it sucks doesn't even, it's like it feels like the things that we're saying are not, it feels like what we are experiencing is beyond words, like beyond the words. But I mean, I guess we could use more words to try to get there, but
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, no, no. I totally hear you on this. Well, I shouldn't. Well, I don't feel like I should say
But I get what
I'm
you're
that.
saying.
It's just like I'm
You
not experienced.
empathize.
Yes, I totally empathize
Mhm.
over this, and I hear you about the whole thing about not being able to process this right now, not
Yeah.
having that space to process
To
this,
process. Like,
you
I'm
know?
still, like, applying to jobs. Like, I got shows I'm still doing. Like, I have a show next week that I'm preparing for and, like, shows in a couple weeks, and it's like a whole thing that's also really hard for I think the artists and the gig workers, because it's like, I'm not gonna tell people to risk their lives and to, put their health in danger so that they can be outside. However, as an artist, I'm aware that people are going to the art to feel solace and to feel support and ease. And so it's just kind of like a difficult place because you're like, I can only do so much. Like, I can only, like, it's like I still have to make money. And I think that's the thing that's like really challenging because you're kind of like, okay, well, let's find ways to like, get the air purifiers, get the masks, do whatever needs to be done so at least people feel safer and they can actually like, feel like they're doing something for their safety. But yeah, it's really confusing. Like, I have friends in so many different mediums where we're just kind of like, okay, like, and also too, the other thing is I keep explaining it like this is like, okay, so before all the fires, it was COVID, right? And it was like, oh no, we need to do more things outside. We need to be outside. We need to get fresh air. The air is not fresh. So it's like the air is not fresh. So like, what are we supposed to do? Are we supposed to go back inside? And then it's like, okay, but now people are going to be susceptible to other things. So it's just also stepping outside is, you're gonna get ash on you, whether or not it's like, sure, it's not big pieces because we're not all in Pasadena, but it's all moving around in the air. So it's just very complex. Not complex, it's just multi-layered. And I think it's like, it's one of those things where it's like you want to make sure that you have all of your needs met, but you also want to make sure that like in general, like the general public is safe and like we're taking care of each other. But I think it's kind of hard to like fully be able to take care of each other too if you're like not taking care of yourself individually. So it's like our hierarchy of needs is kind of like, it's like a wrecking ball like was thrown through that shit. We're just like, what do we need?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So do you feel like I know I've seen online a lot of, like, mutual aid support. Do you feel like there's been, a significant, like, amount of, support in that area? Like, are people really showing up? Like, are they really
Yeah.
showing up?
I feel like on a local level, I can definitely say people are showing up. I think it's cool to see. I saw like Walk Good LA and Afropunk, and I'm trying to think of
Mm.
the other orgs, but it was a couple other black orgs. I think the numbers like I think they raised like, last time I saw it was 9 million. It might be more, but
Whoa.
9 million, right, towards these black and brown families affected in Pasadena and Altadena. And I think that's great.
Awesome, awesome.
Um, I am not a realtor, so I don't know what the numbers are giving on those things. So I don't, to me, I'm like, I love that I see all these big numbers. I'm kind of like, okay, but like, what is the actual math like for everybody affected? Like, so that they can at least get back on their feet. So I can't really say that I feel like I don't know enough information. I think I would need to talk to more people that are on the ground to be like, do you like, how are the resources being allocated? Have they started to be allocated? I do think I've seen an extensive amount of different resources and grants and like funds and stuff that have been started for like artists and creative people impacted by the fires, whether it be like they lost their homes or like somebody like me where it's like they like their gigs or their work was impacted. So I think it is great to see that there's a lot of these different funds. I'm just kind of curious how things are gonna be spread because in addition to that, people were already struggling before the fires. So I'm just kinda like, how are they gonna be able to allocate so that at least we're all good? I feel like I'm seeing a lot of money, so I think that's good. I think, though, at the same time, it would really be nice, and people can correct me on this, but I think it would really be nice if people outside of Los Angeles did more, not only to, inform themselves, but also, like, because there's other ways to support in addition to, like, money, but, like, I mean, that's the main thing. We know the money makes the world go round, and so, um, I do feel like sometimes that I think okay, so something that a lot of me and a lot of locals, people from LA have been saying that we've been seeing on the internet is if we have a lot of people in our networks who are outside of Los Angeles and outside of California, but something that has been like a thing that people have noticed a lot is like, so when the fires first happened, a lot of the stuff that I was seeing and a lot of other people I know who have networks outside of LA were seeing was like people being like, well, it's the rich people, their houses got burned down. They can fix it. Like it's not a big deal. Or like, oh, it's LA and it's like they all got money. And it's like, sure,
Really?
there are celebrities that are here, but like we have I'm pretty sure we have the largest homeless population in the US.
Right.
I'm pretty
Exactly.
sure we have one of, if
Yes.
not the, but
Yes.
probably the lowest like income like demographic in the US.
Right.
And so sure, Hollywood is a thing that exists here, but there's like this polarity that happens. And I think as somebody who's from LA, I've lived on the East Coast, I've lived in other places. Something I've noticed that is a like theme is there's this like assumption that everybody who's from LA is rich. Everyone from LA is like they have the money. They're they're related to somebody rich, this, that, and the other. But it's like, even me, myself, sure, my mom, she works in the motion pictures industry now, like as a seamstress, but she didn't get that job until like I was in high school. Up until that, she was an independent like seamstress and like had her own clothing business. And so I think there's so many people who that's the story, like their parents, like my father was an immigrant, like there's just a lot of different things. And so I think it is really hurtful when people are sharing like fear mongering like imagery or like see look at the way that California runs things and now this is happening and it's just or like the jokes about the drought, which is like always the thing that people do with California. It's been that way for like over a decade in my experience. And so I think something that I've been hearing from people who are on the ground in the places that are directly affected is they're like, we don't need the fear mongering. We don't need the statistics. Like we need support. We need resources. And so I'm appreciative that the people of Los Angeles, I think, are doing that for each other. And I would really love to see if like people could continue to do that outside of Los Angeles as well and kind of like push past their projections and like preconceived notions because yeah, I think that's just like very frustrating. I think being somebody from this space where like I understand, I've seen it, I've seen the Beverly Hills, I've seen I understand what that is, but at the same time, I'm also like, you gotta like learn the people, bro. And like, there's so much here. And I think it's like disheartening when it's like people are literally losing like history. They're literally losing
Yes.
like history is being burnt up right now. And like I don't think people recognize that because and I mean, also granted, there's plenty of places where things happen and we don't know anything about because we've never been there or maybe we've never heard of it or whatever. So I understand that like that is always going to be something that's present. However, it is disappointing. I think when I see people that like I know have come out here and like come to LA and got a bag, come to LA, got some money, like, got really great work. It's like you can't even just like share the document. You know
Yes.
what I'm saying? Like,
Right. Yeah.
and it's like a lot of y'all got jobs. I don't got a job like that. Like, I really am an artist. I be doing the artist shit. So it's just like, yeah, I think that's just frustrating. But I am appreciative of the support that I am seeing happening.
Mhm.
But it's weird. Like, it's just a very interesting time. That and then like the fucking billionaires being like, my prayers and thoughts go out when you could just drop 1 million. But we'll
Yeah.
get into that another time.
Right.
That and whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah, well, one of the things that I hope that can be, like,
Mhm.
be discussed and even, sort of, like, shift the thinking around is, like, the whole aspect around climate change and and all these
That.
like deniers of climate change.
The
I mean,
snow in the South right now.
yes.
The fires, New
I
Orleans,
mean, oh my god, like,
North
really?
Carolina a couple months ago.
Yeah, it's like,
It's
I
stressful.
mean I hope, like, they yeah, it's just I can't anymore. I feel like I just don't have the
The
level of
spoons.
patience. I don't have
No.
the I don't have the spoons anymore for
It's not even the spoons,
deniers.
honestly. I think you're right. It's actually sorry. We never said that. Rewind, delete, da da da. They don't we don't have the capacity. Like there's just so much bullshit in the world and
Right.
like we're fed so much bullshit all the time. And it's
Mhm.
like at some point you're going to wake up and be like, this is fucking disgusting. I'm done with it. And I'm grateful. I'm happy to see more people waking up. And I'm really calling in that we see more of that and that continues to be amplified because yeah, it's like there's a lot of things that are happening and that exist and that are the ways of working that should not be the ways of working. They're not working. It's actually
Right.
the ways of foolishness.
Right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's just gonna bite us in the ass in the end. All of us.
seriously.
All of us,
No,
you know?
seriously. And it's like climate change. We've been talking about that. I mean, I was in elementary school and we was talking about that. So I just think about that and I'm like, there's still people who have been adults longer than me who are still like, no, there's no way. Like the delusion is beyond me.
Uh, anyway, so, like, I know you did bring this up. I know you did move back to, LA,
Yes.
last year, and I
Yes.
just wanted to know if it's,
West
you know
Coast. Sorry.
what?
I said West Coast. I know this because listen, I was like, I love New York though. I love New York, but I was like, I'm from here. People be
Okay.
thinking I'm from New York. It really gags me.
Oh
Continue.
my god. Yes, but yeah, so I just wanted to know, why did you move back to LA? If you could share why?
Yeah, I mean, so I never thought I was gonna live in New York forever. Personally, I found notebooks and things recently where I'm saying like I'll probably live there for like 4 or 5 years. Like it'll be cool. Like it'll be a nice moment, a nice chapter. Um, but I think in addition to like the intention and the manifestation of that happening, um after my accident, like, after I for those that don't know, like, back in 2022, I was biking to, like, a session, and I got hit by a car, and
Oh my
then
god.
after I got hit by the car, that resulted in me, like, having my pelvis fractured, my left arm, which is my dominant hand, I'm a lefty, lefty time, was fractured, like, and
Wow.
broken, my neck was in a fucking, brace, and, like, I had to learn how to walk again. I
Oh
was,
my
like,
god.
unable to walk. I was, what is it? Bedridden for, like, 3 months and then had to learn how to walk again. It was wild. And so now I have metal in my hip. And so I have, like, these 2 long screws in my hip that, like, hold me together and, like, a little brace in my, like I don't know what I would describe that as, but, like, under my belly. And so now the cold like, I adjusted to the weather in New York, but now the cold is so cold because I have this
Mm,
metal in my body. And
right.
so I had just signed a lease 2 days before this whole thing happened. So, literally, first 3 months, I can't even be in my apartment type shit. I eventually get in it, but I don't really get to live, and it's not really living in until, like, the summer, so, like, months later. And I had just signed a lease for 2 years, so I was like, "Well, I'm not gonna just, like, leave now," because I was searching for, like, my New York apartment, my long-term New York apartment, and I was like, "Well, I already got it, so I'm not about to just, like, break the lease." So I kept the apartment, and I just, like, was living in it for, like, 2 years. But I told myself, I was like, "Okay, I'm giving myself this 2 years. If during this time, New York can show me that it's, that the opportunities in New York" because at the time too also was I was getting a lot more opportunities in LA. So I
Mm,
was like, "If the opportunities in New York if I see that the opportunities of New York are exceeding that of LA, I'll stay. But if I see that the opportunities are exceeding in LA, Imma go." And so that happened. I think the weather was the biggest thing for me because I did 2 winters and I was just like, I can't do it like now with this metal because it's like sometimes I get so cold and I'm just like shaking and it's like, it doesn't matter how many blankets or layers, I'm just cold. Like it happens in LA too, but like at least it's not like 17 degrees, you know? So I think, yeah, I just needed to like be in a place that was warmer and better for me physically.
Hmm.
Um, and yeah, I think I don't feel like I outgrew New York. I think because I'm gonna go back. I'm calling and then I can come back this summer actually because I need to come back for a couple things. But yeah, I just think I needed to be in a different space. I think there was a level of independence that I had gained from living in New York, which was like a big reason for why I wanted to go. Was I wanted to like increase my relationship to my independence and learn how to like do things because I already was like doing a lot of stuff on my own, but I wanted to be able to be like okay, like, I can travel to this place and I can do this thing and I know I have people there, but I can, like, do this on my own and, like, because 'cause I'm a person who, like I'm not as anxious as I used to be, but I used to be, like, a very anxious person, and so, like, there would just be certain things that would, like, feel really uncomfortable, and so I was like, "Oh, I wanna, like, learn how to be comfortable in the discomfort."
Right.
And I learned that, and I think, like, I was then like, I need to have community in a different way because I think also in New York, New York is such a nightlife place, which is very fun, but I'm not a nightlife girl, like, I'm not one of those people, like, I need to be out in the street at night, like, I love me a dinner, like a brunch, like, I love me like a let's go to the park, like, let's go, like, on a hike, like, I think and I really appreciated the exploration of the other stuff because I remember there was a time where I was like, "Oh, like, maybe I'm not just that," and I'm not just that, but I think I learned I was like, "Oh, like, since I already gotta do the nightlife thing for the industry, like, the work that I do, I'm like, I don't necessarily want that to be the main way and, for me to, like, connect and have community, and I think especially as, like, a queer person, as a Black person, like, nightlife is something that is very important, I think, to a lot of those different demographics because it's like, you work all day, you work the job you hate, then you get off and you're around people that look like you and that love like you and do these things and have different identities, you know, and so yeah, but I love New York. I think I just can't live there. Like, I've been saying that for, like, a year. Before I even moved, I was like, "I just can't live here anymore." Like, I think also I'm a Capricorn, I can work. And I think I learned how to, like, get the balance because I think before I moved to New York, I felt like I was chilling a lot. Like, I was doing a lot of shit, but I felt like I was chilling a lot. When I moved to New York, I realized I was like, "Oh, no, 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 I had balance. That's what that is." But I didn't learn that until I went through, like, the let me go and work, 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 and I was like, "This is not it, bro. This is not the vibes. This is not" I hate saying the vibes, but this is not it's not giving. It's not what giving what it's supposed to be giving, okay? So yeah. And so I think New York is a place now that I can do in doses. And like I'm really excited to like come back for like a month or like 2 weeks and like go and have those nights where you can like go and be out late and bounce around to a bunch of different things. And it's like, yeah, like I can do that and that happens every now and then. Like I can't do that all the time. And not to say that everybody's doing that all the time, but the nightlife thing is really a big part of New York, you know?
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty much the fabric of it.
It's the MO. And
So,
like, listen,
yeah.
fun
And
times.
yeah.
I'm just, like, tired, and I think, like, the injuries I had kinda aged me in a different way,
Mhm.
where I'm like, you know, I don't like, I think also in music too, it's, like, it's so easy to have vices and shit too, it's, like, I'm not really trying to give myself other ways to fuck my shit up, respectfully, like, personally, like, I don't know, I just think, like, with the way the equation of like working a lot and working multiple jobs so that you can try to have a roof over your head. Granted, I mean, that's like kind of the life of everybody everywhere. But in New York, that's like literally in the fabric, I feel like. Um, Having that and then like being an artist, and then it's like you struggling. It's like it's a recipe for disaster for the right person. And I didn't want to be the right person.
Right.
So yeah. But I miss it though. I definitely like miss it. But I'm like, also I can come back when it's like the summer. The summer. Y'all see me in the summer.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So I also wanted to like give space to recognize and talk about the inauguration and then the
Oh my
executive
gosh.
orders against queer, trans, non-binary people like ourselves.
I'm gonna be so real.
Please
I'm
be real.
not paying attention to the news right now. I'm so
Okay.
sorry. I know that's not what people want to hear, but
I think most
I'm
people are not paying attention to the
I'm not
news
paying
either.
attention to that shit. I'm gonna be keeping 1,000. We knew he was gonna do this. You know what I'm saying? Like I feel like I'm tired. I'm at the point where I'm tired of playing the role of being surprised when people act how we already know they were going to act because that's who they are. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying that this is not scary, but I think for me, I'm at a point where I'm like, I don't have the energy. I'm not about to give you my energy for free because you're fear mongering people and trying to scare the fuck out of people. And you're trying to make people feel dumb too. Like they didn't know that you was going to do this, but it's like, no, we knew you were going to do this. This is how you are. That man don't give a fuck about a lot of people, and
He doesn't care about anyone.
he doesn't care about anybody. Like, I don't know. He's like, I just saw this TikTok earlier where somebody was like, I can't believe that man's out here talking about like no gender affirming care. Whole time this man, every time he wake up, he puts on a full beat and he put like the orange beat and in the wig, like that's not drag. And I was just like, exactly. Like, so it's just like for me, it's fucked up. I'm scared for the kids mostly, but I think this is one of those things. This is one of those moments where I'm like, this is why we have to tap in with community. This is why we got to like inform ourselves. This is why we got to read the books. This is why we got to memorize to get how to get places, memorize the
Yes.
phone numbers. This is why you got to
Yes.
memorize the information. Like, I think we're at a point where it's like, dude, all this shit is happening in front of our face in real time. Like all those like what ifs, all the literature books we read in high school that were about a dystopian world, the Hunger Games
Yes.
and all those,
Yes.
we're in that. Black Mirror, so many different things where it's like
Yeah.
we are in that, and it would
Yeah.
be foolish to act like we're not. It's not like we're waiting for that to be our reality. It's like, no, like the things are actively happening. So it's like
Yeah.
process the frustration, but also like the clock is ticking, and we cannot keep going. The people that show us that they don't care about us, asking them to care about us. Now, listen, I ain't make the government have what it is. I ain't saying that shit right. However, like, we also got to be realistic with ourselves and be like, what can we do on a local level to make sure that like nothing else is passed that is on this bullshit? You know, it's like, what can we do? You know, like, how can we provide, like, how can we tap in with our local community, like organizations, and tap in with them and find ways to give back and support and like physically show up? Again, it's not always money, but money is a way that people can support. Um, but yeah, I just think like I'm mostly scared for the kids, but I think as long as they have parents that like love them and like unconditionally and are like, you know, anybody threatening you, like that's a threat towards me, and I don't play about threats towards me and mine. You know, like as long as that's the energy, I feel like we'll be okay. But it is really scary. You know, I think like for me, like when I'm like looking at jobs and different things now I'm kind of like, because people be misgendering me all the time. I
Mm.
hate it, but it happens. But I'm kind of at a point now where I'm kind of like picking my battles of when I want to bring the things up. And I'm not saying that's okay. I don't think that that's okay. But I think with the world that we live in, we have to be smart and we have to be strategic.
Right.
And I'm just at a point where it's like, I actually am not really going to be that mad if this person like misgenders me in like a one-off conversation or like something.
Mm.
Because it's like, how this person's perception of me is not me. Like that's how I feel about the whole Trump thing. I'm like, this nigga perception of me and my people is not what it is, and I'm not gonna argue with somebody about their perspective because that's their perspective. I mean, if that's how you feel, that's how you feel. If you want to be a dumb doo doo head, but I mean, by all means, be a dumb doo doo head. But it's like, I know now how to move. Like I know that I don't need to be around you. I don't need to engage. Like I think that's how I really would like I'm really like pushing even the people in my life to operate where it's like totally understand this is fucked up. I'm not saying this is fucked up, but what I'm saying is it worth your energy? I mean, sometimes cuss the people out, but we got to think about safety, like, and it's like with all this stuff, it's like safety is really important. If you outnumbered, I don't think it's the best idea to bring it up in that moment. I'm not saying that you should silence yourself, but I also just think like we don't want you to be silenced because somebody ended your life,
Right.
And so it's just really fucked up because as a person who's non-binary, I'm not trying to live in the binaries of shit, but they're really trying to force that shit down our throats. And it's just at the point where it's like, girl, like, we don't even care about gender that much. Like, we don't care about that shit that much. It be y'all. It be you heterosexual, cisgender people. Like, y'all are more pressed about gender identity and sexual orientation and how people show up, more pressed than the people who are actually these not things, but like these identities, honestly, to be real. So it's like, that's not on me. I'm gonna protect my people, and just do what we can because it's really, I think the minute anybody, but the minute a people start feeling like they don't have power, that's the minute like you lost. So I'm just like, frequently just being like, we gotta remember that we are not losing.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't lost yet. We not finna lose.
We're
Like
not
that.
gonna lose.
That's not how the
And
world works. Like,
yeah, exactly.
not this, like the world outside of this physical, like, it's like that's just not how shit works. So but I also know the minute, I mean, that's all the climate change thing is like, where it's like there's a lot of people where they're like they ignored it for so long, for so long, and then as a result that kind of almost made it get bigger, like where it's like, oh, you don't want to see me, now I'm gonna be even larger and more impactful. And so I just hope that people recognize their power.
Yeah. And so, like, how do you plan to, like, practice hope and to experience joy in the next 4 years? 'Cause, like, 4 years is a long time.
4 years is a long time. I mean, keeping up with my rituals, my personal rituals, making sure that I take care of myself and do my wellness, make sure I do my yoga, make sure I'm taking care of me. Whatever the things are that are taking care of me, drinking my tea. I've been really getting into herbalism. That's like one of my big goals for this year. Is I want to, like, if there's anything that the body's feeling, by the end of the year, I want to know like a remedy in my brain that I like got already or that I can put together that will help with the thing. Because I got sick a lot towards the end of last year. And I'm not a person who gets sick. But to me, I was like, oh, this feels like a purge, and I need to start leaning towards the medicine of the land. So doing that. Also, I think that'll help me just inform myself because it's like, okay, let's say we don't have access to a store. What can we use like from the garden and in the like cabinets that, can make things happen? Um, I do a lot of programming with Noir at Night. That's like my event series that's focused on like the preservation of Black music. And with that, the whole intention is it's preservation of Black music, but by way of like Black, queer, and trans folks. Like the people who are frequently left out of the equation. And like dark skinned folks, fat folks, et cetera, et cetera.
Right.
And so honestly, I think even like that work that I'm doing and the work that people are asking me to do or reaching out to me to do, that's like space making, that is like gonna be something I continue doing, like really pushing for folks to like connect offline and to
Mm,
build
mm,
network. Sounds so capitalistic, but
yeah.
network. Don't you just hate how words have been like fucked up, bro? It's so fucked up. But
For me, it's just like when I realize that that's a part of capitalism, I'm just like, "Oh my god, fuck."
right, and that's why we have to redefine shit because when I'm
Right.
thinking network, I'm thinking like connection, but even connection, same thing. They've done that with that too. But still, anyways, like being able to connect with people offline and build and like brainstorm, organize, act, like, I think that's what's gonna keep me sane.
Mm,
Really doing work and only doing work that aligns with my integrity and my values, and like that one's hard, bro. There's a lot of shit out there that's not in alignment. It's fucked up. But I'm also like, I think it has been affirming because I do think when you know what you want and you stand on business and you're unwavering in what you want, not in the sense of like my way or the highway, but in the sense of being like having discernment to know this is for me, this is not for me. This is for me, but maybe it's for me in a certain way or in a certain instance. Like I just that is the I think that's the goal. I think the goal is to be able to discern, and I really want to continue working on my discernment and seeing what happens when I continue to operate from a place of discernment and in alignment with my values. Like I've seen a lot of things in my life burn down and that was scary, but the things that have been planted and have blossomed and are being like nurtured in its place is like really powerful. And I'm just like, I want to see how great it can get. That's where my head is at. Like I'm like, I understand people are like, this is the end. We had that nigga in the office before. We thought the same shit, and it wasn't the end. So if we made it through one time, I think we could do it again. It's just about like how can we recalibrate the brain and like
Pivot.
pivot and not give that shit
Yeah.
energy. Like it's not
Mhm.
to say you don't have awareness of what's going on. I know what the fuck's going on. There's people in my life who were gonna tell me about what the fuck is going on. Like I just think this is so funny that I'm saying this because I've been on the other side of what I'm saying and I've been like, what does that mean? But I understand where it's like, you just got like the information is gonna be given to me. I don't need to fearmonger and go through a doom scroll. I don't need to do all that. What I do need to do is my job as a creative and as an artist, a creator. And I need to, in a world builder, and I need to create and I need to continue to create spaces and continue to cultivate like stories and medicine from the trauma. So that's what I'm finna do. That's just what I'm gonna keep doing at the end of the day. And like, even though it's challenging to find work and stuff that's like more in alignment, I will say I'm seeing a lot of it happen now. So now I'm like, oh, it's not impossible. Like that shit is very tangible. It's just a matter of what is it? What I was journaling about this. Like steadfastness, like you gotta be steadfast. You gotta like keep the consistency. You gotta have momentum. Like even when everything else don't seem like it's giving you that motion, as people say, that motion. Like, it's like you gotta continue at the thing. And so I think with anything, that's kind of how it is. It's like if you want to be free from these systems, okay, a lot of us been saying we want to be free from these systems. The systems have gotten very bleak, okay? And some people are still grasping onto those systems with like their straws. And it's like your words are not matching up with your actions. So one of them has to change. Which one's going to change? You already saying something different. So it's really not that hard to get the action behind it? So I really am praying that like we all collectively like see our power and see that like we manifest. I mean, I don't like to do that whole thing, but I do feel like there's a lot of things that have happened in the world that it's like we kind of manifested that. Like it's like we just kind of didn't use our word. Like we didn't recognize how powerful our word was. So we saying everything sucks, everything's so bad. Oh, our government doesn't give a fuck about us. Granted, our government don't give a fuck about us, but then more people started saying that shit and then not doing anything to try to like no action took place to try to shift it. So it's like we're all just kind of saying that's an affirmation. Like we're all saying the thing. So it's like what happens if we're like these systems break down and now we as a people have like cultivated new ways of being. Like what happens when we're like, oh, like we're liberated. We're getting not even we're getting liberated. We are liberated. Like, what happens when we say those things and then like we collectively say it and not in like, aha, you think that shit's so funny. It's like, no, like,
Mm.
and I think that is the thing. That's what I mean when I'm like, I don't think people recognize their word is that important and powerful because it's like, no, it is. The climate change thing. So many people were like, it doesn't matter. 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 Mother Earth was like, oh, it doesn't matter. Fuck the icebergs. We're going to have snow in the South in places where it don't snow. The fire, you know what I'm saying? And so it's like, everything is living, it's like all these things. The land is living, we are living, our ideas, all this shit is energy. So it's like we have to be more careful because we just have cultivated some stuff that is not, it's not what we wanted, but it's like you watered it, It's like you said you didn't want it, but if you didn't want it, you would have stopped watering it, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. And I
Okay.
mean, this is the shit I'd be sitting with myself. I'd be like, damn, I'd be doing that shit too. It's shit we gotta work
Yes.
on, It's like,
Yes.
I'm
Yes.
like, I'm not saying, I'm like, just to, because the people will hear this. I'm like, just to clarify, when I'm saying you, I mean me too.
Right. Exactly. We.
Yeah, that's why I keep saying we.
Yeah,
Exactly,
exactly.
exactly.
Yeah. But anyway, so I just wanted to jump in um with some music. Yeah, I know,
Music.
I know. I was just like, okay, let's talk about the politics of
I mean, you
today.
said you want to talk about it, so I was like, fine, we can talk about it. I guess, bro. I guess, bro.
So you were on When We See Each Other in 2020 after your album Reflections.
Yes, the
And
EP, the EP, the EP,
yes,
the EP.
the EP. And can you talk about the music you came out with after Reflections and all that had happened during those 5 years?
I mean, let's see. I think OU happened. I know the Recluse freestyle happened. I'm sorry, y'all. That shit is not on streaming no more. Don't be mad at me, but if you really want it, I could figure it out. I think we talked during the pandemic. I think that was the first time we kikied.
Yes.
Because had Lately come out already? Or was it
Yes,
about?
Lately was one of the songs.
Yes. Okay, yeah. So Lately it happened. I mean, Lately was like the first song I wrote when I moved to New York, like first full length, like start to finish. And then I was doing OU. Oh, yeah. So back in 2020, I was working on a lot of different music. I was really learning how to produce at the time. Um, and was really reminding myself, like, okay, I need to just like make stuff to make it because I'm an artist, not make it for like uh like to produce, like to be productive. But that was like really hard because I had just gotten out of college and like that's all I was in was college was like, how do I produce? How do I make this like lucrative?
Right.
And so I spent a lot of that pandemic time teaching myself how to produce on Ableton, learning how to record myself, learning how to like stack vocals and mix and things like that. So that was like a very explorative time for me creatively. Then yeah, we released Lately in 2021. So I think Lately around this time is also when I had a lot of time, like I was teaching lessons to people, I was making music, but I think also at that time I started realizing that I need to explore and nourish like my multi hyphenate skills. So OU was a part of that because OU was around the time where I was like, "Oh, like, I really like film." I don't like, I did wanna do film for a while, actually. Like, I like, that was one of the things I wanted to do when I was trying to say I didn't wanna make music. And so, I was like, "Okay, like, let's make, like, a short film type of a thing that goes along with this song," and that's, like, what OU and the video and the short film, is. And so, I wanted to make, like, a visual representation of the song and just, like, test my skills because 'cause I'd never done something like that before? And then from there, that showed me that, like, I actually really do like directing and I really do like, uh, producing. I produce so much work for other people, so many events, so much programming. So I was like, "Oh, like, I could do this for myself." And so that really I brought that really into, the time of I really brought that into, like, the creation and the pre-release process of the last EP, R&B. Um, I didn't really know it was gonna be R&B when I first was working on it. I just had a lot of different demos that I had made over the years that I was really fucking with. Um and I also, like, took a break from performing for a while, so, like, that also kinda shifted things. I was telling myself, I was like, "I don't wanna perform anything until, like, I make new music," and, like, I make music that I feel like I can stand on,
Mm.
because I think I was at the time, I was like, "Oh, I can make a demo easy, but, like, is it music I can stand on? I wanna keep performing," and people are like, "Oh, I really like this," but most importantly, like, do I like it, you know?
Right.
And so, yeah, like, did that for a while. The EP came out in 2023. It was supposed to come out in 2022, but then my accident happened, so the whole getting hit by a car thing happened. But it was like a blessing in disguise because that time in the hospital and in rehab gave me time to work on the demos, and I finished all the demos for R&B, like, I think, like Christmas Eve, so the 23rd of December of 2022, and I was like, "Alright, cool, yeah, it's done." And originally I was like, "Oh, yeah, we could, like, try to get it out next month," and then I was like, "No, let me like do a proper rollout. Like, let me do the videos. Let me figure out what songs are going to get videos, what songs are going to be the lead singles. Like, I still technically don't got a team. And I was like my manager. I was like the artist, the songwriter. I was also like
All the
handling
things.
I was doing all the things. Like, I was
Yeah.
making all the content, like
Right.
editing, like all the reels, all the videos. Like, I think out of all those videos, I think I didn't edit Live from the West Side and Concept of Returning Home, which just came out. Everything else I had edited. So, yeah, it was a time of, like, I think also too, I was kind of feeling, like, underappreciated. Like, that was
Mm.
a thing in New York I kind of felt like sometimes where I would feel like I would do the thing, I would do the work, people would see me do the work, but then it was almost kinda like they would dub me, and at the time, I think I took that personally, but now I'm like, "Oh, nah, like, niggas is just jealous and they see the skill and they intimidated," which is weird because I see you and I think that you're fire and I think we could build something, but that's not my problem. But yeah, I think, like, it was definitely a time of, like, creation and just, like, trying new things, really sitting with an idea and sticking to it, like, spending weeks on songs, like, having songs and, like, trusting friends to listen to them and be like, "Okay, like, what do you think? Like, how like, do you like, is there anything that, like, stands out to you that you want should like, that you would want change?" Like, just finding different ways to get feedback, and it was really fun. It was very collaborative, and, like, honestly, working on R&B saved me because it gave me something to focus on when I was in the hospital. Like, I could've I mean, I was doing other stuff, like watching TV and shit, but, like, or people would come, but, like, that really helped me, like, have a routine and, like, a ritual and, like,
Mhm.
like, he'd be like, "Well, I gotta get better so I can drop this, like, we gotta do this," you know? Um, yeah, so it was definitely a time, and then 2023, the project dropped. That was really cool, started doing a lot more shows, did a lot of shows, like, performed at some colleges, performed at, like, public records. Last year was crazy, high key, it was very wild. It was like, I did public records, I opened for John Doe on her tour in New York at Baby's
Wow.
Alright, yeah. Wrote with her, I actually co-wrote a song on her last EP, Believe It.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, and worked on a lot of music with Def Sound. We released some collabs. We released like a Free Them All song that was like like a pro the people song. We worked on Times, released that music video. I did like a cross country type of tour where I was like doing a bunch of shows in New York and Jersey and at different schools and whatnot, and then did the same thing in the Bay. And it was a lot. Like, I mean, I was definitely like getting paid off of music the most that I'd ever been, which was really wild. And now it's like even expanding in a whole other way, which is really cool. And I'm definitely appreciative, but also I'm so tired and I would love a manager. But like, I think I'm proud of myself for still believing in my ideas and standing on business and being like, "This shit is fire. I don't really give
Yes.
a fuck if you don't think it's fire. I'm gonna
Yes.
prove not even prove to you. Imma just show you what the fuck I got, and you can come back to you can if you wanna change your mind, you can change your mind." That's the energy I've been on. It's like, no judgment if you wake up and you said, "Damn, actually, I was a fool. I didn't make the right decision." But, like so, yeah, like, it's definitely been a journey. It's definitely been a journey, and I really love vocal arranging now. Like, I think producing's fun. I don't really love music producing. I love doing it in a collaborative setting, not necessarily solo by myself because it's kind of too much for me to think about. It's like I'm a vocalist, I'm a singer. Like, sorry, I'm a vocalist, I'm a songwriter, I'm the producer. It's a lot, but I think the types of collaboration and stuff that have come out of the last few years have been really fun. Some of y'all have seen some of it, and then there's like newer things that are coming, like the song with me and Bobby Sanchez. So
Yes, which we are going to discuss.
I guess we could discuss. It's a bop.
Yes,
It's an
that
anthem.
it is. Oh my god. But I wanted to first have you talk about because you just dropped the visuals for the song, the concept of returning home. And I totally enjoyed it. I loved
Thank
it so much.
you. Thank
I love
you.
that song. I really do love that
Thank
song.
you.
What what really always grabbed me about the concept of returning home is that line, um, what is home when you're miles away? And then seeing the video, it was just kind of like seeing it felt like the person was just kind of like longing for home. So, am I right about
Yes.
that?
Yes. Yeah, it's so basically the video 'cause I don't really feel like I feel like y'all still need to interpret it as you will, but I wanted to show people what it looks like to actively disassociate
Mm,
in a moment that should be a good moment. Like there's nothing wrong with it. It should be a good moment. Um, but also how like the reason why you might disassociate is because you are thinking about all like what this reminds you of, like the root of the thing, you know? And like the feeling of home, the feeling of family, of like maybe you're feeling sad, maybe you're feeling distant, maybe you're like, oh, I wish I had this relationship, or like, oh, I'm thinking of the times, or like, dang, we can't have those times anymore because this person isn't alive or whatever. And so I
yeah.
really wanted to give that imagery, but then I also wanted to show people like what Black people feel like, where it's like, do we even have a concept of returning home? Because we didn't like a lot of like we were stolen and taken from where we're from, but then also as like a queer, like non-binary person of like
Yeah.
home. It's like I want to go home. But like I think for me when I was in New York a lot and I would come back home, it was home was kind of weird because it would be like, dang, like people remember a version of me, but that's not the version of me that I am now. And it's not like they don't know me, but they kind of don't know me because they don't know this me.
Right.
And like how that's so weird, you know, where you're just kind of like, damn, I've evolved and like you just haven't experienced this part of me. And sure, like that's kind of life. But I think as like trans people, non binary people, gender fluid folks, it's like, how do you even know what your own like compass is and your own definition of home if you're like still discerning what that even looks like for you?
Yes.
Definitely, like, probably one of the more vulnerable pieces I've made, even though it's, like, really simple, but it's like, it was really hard for me to, like, be sad while everybody's having so much fun, but I also was like, I need to be authentic to the place that I was in when I made this and how I felt, like, a sense of instability and a sense of, like, unfamiliarity when I was thinking about just, like, the concept of home and, like, the concept of, like, returning home and going back somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I felt like you really captured everything that you mentioned.
Thank you.
Just remembering watching the video several
Mhm.
times, like having it on
Listen,
repeat.
everyone should watch it several times because we're independent, okay? We independent.
Oh my
We need the
god.
viewage.
So yes, yes, it was very beautiful, and it's
Thank
just
you.
kind of like it's also really nostalgic. I have to say.
The sepia, the
Yeah,
sepia was eating. It was eating the girls up. They was you know how many people are like, "I love the sepia, but I love how nostalgic it felt." It's like, "Thank you,
yeah,
thank you."
yeah, yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And then also it kind of connects with motherland. Honestly,
Exactly,
you know.
exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So can you tell us a little bit about motherland? that's about to drop?
I know, to be honest, we have no clue when we finna drop that shit. It's gonna drop soon, though. We just gotta figure it out. We gotta figure it out. But,
Okay.
yeah, Motherland is a bop that me and Bobby Sanchez wrote and are performing, and yeah, I mean, me and Bobby is like the homie now. We met through, a event I shall not name, but the people know who they are. But we we met through an event that, it was a very trifling event. That's how I'm gonna leave it. Imma just say it like that. However, I made so many beautiful connections with a lot of different BIPOC, like black and brown, queer, and trans, like, trailed, black and brown, queer, trans folks. Um, but yeah, Bobby and I, like, we met up a couple times, we, like, hung out. The first few times we hung out, it was, like, on some, like, we hung out, smoked a bunch of weed, ate a lot of food, talked, drove around the city, um, just, like, talked about life, and then Bobby was like, "Imma just keep listening to beats that people send me, and when I find a beat that I think reminds me of you, like, we'll get in the studio, like, we'll write." And I was like, "Cool, cool, cool." We don't talk, I think, for, like, a month or so. It's whatever, 'cause, niggas live life. I'm hanging out with my other Aries friend, 'cause Bobby's a Aries. Bobby randomly called me out the blues like, "Yo, where you at? I'm on your block." I was like, "Whoa, why? What happened?" And then she comes through and she's like, I was like, "Oh, I'm with my homie. We was about to go get lunch." And she was like, "Oh, I can scoop y'all. We could go." I was like, "Period." So we did that. And Bobby was like, "Oh, I found this beat. I think I found what we're gonna like write to." They showed me the beat and I was like, "This is fire. This is giving." I really love I'm a hip hop head at heart. Like I'm a vocalist. I be singing, but I really love me some hip hop and I really love me like a Jay Dilla-esque like moment and a
Yeah.
very like
Yeah.
boom bappy,
Yes.
give me a little Andre, okay? Give me a
Yes.
little
Yes.
like I be trying to give
Yes.
people the old and the new, but nonetheless, it doesn't matter. I don't need to prove to y'all what the fuck I know, okay? Anyways, but point being, Bobby showed me the song. I thought it was fire. Then we got together and then Bobby had wrote basically the whole first verse that she did. Like the I'm like a hero, no cake. I can tell that you're not doing so great. That shit go.
Yes. Yes.
And so then she wrote that and I was like, this is crazy. I have to find a way to come hard like you. Like, hold on. And then yeah, I wrote the chorus. Super intuitive, 20, 30 minute, got the melody. Then I was like, this is what we saying. Changed maybe one line since then. And then yeah, then we wrote that. It was really fun. It was a really great experience. I think Bobby and I are both two people who really we care about our pen. We really put time into our pen. We really put time into like making sure there's a message in the music. And I was just really honored that we were able to make a song about our ancestry,
Yeah.
individual and together,
Yeah.
and while being two like trans non-binary folks.
Yes. Yes.
Um, very powerful. And yeah, like in Bobby's second verse, she's like rapping in Quechua, which is like the native
Ah,
language of Peru.
right. I was
And or
wondering about
one
that.
of them. Yeah, and so she did that and then I was like, fuck, I need to do something. And like I'm Sierra Leonean on my dad's side. And I was like, oh, like I could do like some Creole. I don't know though, because I don't really know Creole. And then my it was actually funny because I was like, "Damn, who's gonna show me?" And, like, my cousins, MIA, all my not all of them, but, like, they was all MIA doing their own thing. I was like, "Damn, what the fuck?" My aunt is, like, not comprehending, like, when I'm sending her the voicemail asking her to send me something, she not sending me shit. I'm like, "Who can help me?" I actually crazy thing, a month before we started making the song, Bobby and I was on Twitter, and somebody DMs me, and they go, "Hey, this is really random, but I think we got the same last name." And I go, "Oh, word, that's so cool." They're like, "I'm Sierra Leonean too." I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." They live in the UK. And I was like, "Oh, period, that's cool." Next thing you know, bro, they're like, "Hey," they DM me. They go, "Hey, I'm not trying to seem weird or nothing, but I think I have baby photos of you and your brother."
What?
And I go, "Wait, wait, 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 what?" And they send me photos, but it's photos. So it's photos of that my dad took and sent to her dad because they were friends. And so And so they basically did the same thing, but went to different places. Like they both were in Sierra Leone. My dad went to the US. He went to the UK. So they were like pen pals, writing back and forth, talking about each other's families. And she was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, I found this with a note. She was like, sorry, I know that sounded super sus, but like I found it within like a letter, I guess my dad, your dad had sent to me and this, that, and the other. And they're like, I think we're related. And I was like, oh, okay. So then that became the cousin homie. So then we're talking
Yeah.
on social, and then we get each other's numbers. And then I was like, hey, I have a question. We're on WhatsApp. And I was like, are you comfortable? I was like, I'm working on a song right now. It's about channeling the motherland. It's about like ancestry and lineage and tapping in with the folks before you and continuing to pave the way. And I was like, I don't really know Creole like that. I don't want to assume that you do, but I was curious, do you? And if you do, can you help me write something? And then she helped me write something, and it was really cool. And it was just crazy. It's just the universe, ancestors are funny because the way that like she was teaching me the lyrics, and then I'm saying them, and it's like way too easy. Like, but then I was like, it's not way too easy because this is my
Yeah.
language. And
Exactly.
just how wild that was. So like the
Right.
second part of my verse is in Creole.
Mhm.
And like it's just like it's like a nice chant,
Yeah.
like an affirmation I wrote in English, and then she told me how to say it in Creole, and I was just like, this is wow, like powerful. So yeah, we made this really fire ass song, bro, and y'all
Yes.
heard pieces of it, but y'all ain't heard the verses. Like the people are not ready. That's the thing. Also, is like we gotta come correct because like Bobby and I want to do a music video for it. We
Yes,
need somebody
please.
to come through with the video because in a perfect world, what I want to do is I would like for us to have the video, get the video shot. We drop that shit with the video. Like we promo because it's like y'all can't just I mean, granted the cover art is fire, but
Yeah.
y'all need that. So I think that we gotta figure out what's gonna happen. But I'm really excited. I really love that song.
Yes.
And I'm like kind of rapping on it a little bit more because everybody wants me to rap. Everybody wants me to be a rapper. Y'all niggas want me to rap so motherfucking bad. Like I haven't rapped a little bit on the songs.
They've been wanting you to rap since we had that interview back in 2020.
They literally have, and then I feel like I gave them a rap, and they're like, "No, more." And I'm just like, "What do you want from me?" I listen to Megan Thee
Oh my
Stallion, yes,
god.
but
Yes.
I don't rap like my sister. I don't rap like that. Anyways, but yeah, that's the song. I mean,
It's so
it's fire.
good.
It's not finna
It
be fire. It's already fire. It's
it is
power.
fire. Like,
It's sonic medicine. It's kind of crazy. I'm
yes.
sorry. I'm stop. Go ahead.
No, go for it. I mean, I feel like, when you sent that to me, I was just like, "Oh my god. This is so good." And I have not, like, stopped listening to it. I
Thank
listen to it
you.
almost every day, and
Wow,
it's
that's that
it's just
medicine.
it's just so good, and it makes me feel really good, like, seriously, I
Thank
feel I
you.
feel a lot of, like, joy, I feel a lot of, like I feel celebrated, honestly,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
I
Um,
definitely feel that because even in what's being said, like I said, see my own people from the region that was liberated by its own folks. Yeah. Cause we
yes.
fucking from Freetown. What? Y'all used us as fucking slave ports and then we said, I'm gonna do you one better, bitch. Actually, we're gonna reclaim that shit. Don't play with me. So yeah,
Right.
like this shit is in our bones. Like
Yeah.
I'm really excited for everybody to get that song, and I'm excited to
Yeah.
collab on more stuff with Bobby and other talented, s similar valued people. Like, we got the same values and intention. I don't know when it's gonna come out, though. I'm so
I
sorry.
was about to ask that. Oh my
I
god.
wish I had
I was just
info.
like,
I don't know. I mean, here's the thing. I would
okay.
like for it to be out by summer. But I don't know. Well, because we were gonna match it up with like indigenous, like what is it, like Indigenous Heritage Month? I don't know. We gotta unpack. We gotta sit with it.
Okay. Well, I'm not gonna rush you,
I'm
but
gonna pray that it comes out. It's gonna come out this year because
okay.
I'm not in the
Good.
business of I'm not in the business of holding on to every song. I'm not holding on to every single song forever. Like I don't want to hold on to a song and then I forget about it.
Right. Right.
So
Well, this is way too
yeah,
important. This is way too important to it's just like,
I just think no, I understand. I think the main concern for me I'm not gonna speak for Bobby. My concern is I wanna make sure that we do it right.
Yeah.
Like, it's the type of song where it's like, I don't think y'all niggas even understand, like, it's gonna catapult shit. And in a way that, it's just, like, it's needed. And so, yeah, like, I remember initially we were thinking of dropping it around this time actually because of the 20th and all of that.
Mhm.
But yeah, I think we just I wanna make sure that we do it right. Like, I wanna make sure we got that video because I mean, the photo shoot, we already it's given, like, y'all gonna be sick from that. So, we gotta give you a video that matches, but also, we manifesting that somebody comes in and they like, "Listen, I got the budget, I got the team. What you wanna do?
Yeah.
Do you wanna do this?" So,
Right.
yeah, but I feel excited for it, though. I mean, what else can I tell you? Oh, I've been working on DJing a lot this past year, so I'm calling in that I'm gonna do some more DJ things and some more DJ gigs and get some mixes out there because I've been working on a lot of mixes, but it's hard because I got a Virgo moon, so it takes me a minute to push past the need for perfectionism, but it's okay. Anyways, nonetheless, I'm working on that. I'm working on new music right now. A lot of different collabs. There's a lot of collabs that are coming out this year that I'm really excited for. A couple of them came out last year, like with Def Sound, and John Doe, but there's a good amount of stuff that's coming out this year that I feel really excited for. Yeah, I'm really excited. I have a lot of really fun programming things that are coming up this year. Working with this org called Camp Pride. They do like a wellness camp experience for LGBTQ folks in Oregon. It's held in Oregon, but it's open to whomever. But I'm collabing with them as the music programming partner for Camp Pride. So Noir at Night, my event series, is going to be the live music for not the festival, but like the camp experience. So working on a couple things, we are keeping it queer, keeping it black.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, I'm working on music, but I'm not really stressed about trying to drop an album. I'm kind of like in like, let's just drop singles and just like maybe I'll make like a 3-track little EP or something. Um,
Okay.
but yeah, we're in the creative process in the building, and like I said, like I'm putting my feet into the fucking dirt and I'm building with the people around me.
Hey, that's the best way to go about it, I think.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate all the stuff that you're doing,
Thank
honestly.
you.
Um,
Likewise. I
like,
appreciate what y'all are doing. I love that when we see each other has expanded so much since we last talked.
yeah, yeah. Thank you so much.
No problem.
I just wanted to also ask you, are there any other queer, trans, non-binary artists you'd like to give a shout out to? I know you mentioned Bobby Sanchez, and I would,
Def Sound, yeah.
yeah. So,
Well, let's see. Let's look at my playlist. Off top, I really like Dua Saleh and I really like Halima. She's really
mm,
cool.
mm,
Um, I love me some Ombre. She gonna write a motherfucking song, okay? She finna write the song. Victoria Monet is a queer baddie as well. Damn, have you heard of Ariel J?
Ariel J.
She's so good. She has the song, fuck, what's the song that y'all all know? Because the song I like is the song that everybody don't really know. The Look at this glow on me, look at this glow on me. Did you hear that? The song's on like TikTok. It was on TikTok. She's
No.
like, if it's a really good song, but she's like, look at this glow on me, look at this glow on me. She got this song called Open the Blinds that I'm obsessed with.
Ariel J. Oh,
Yeah.
yes, Ariel J. And on
Life is
Instagram.
steadily changing, man.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
She's hard. I really fuck with her.
Yes. Oh my God.
She got this
Seriously.
song Open the Blinds that I'm obsessed with.
Oh my God.
Like,
It's
she's like,
amazing.
it's so good. I pray for your healing. I pray for your
Yeah,
healing. It's just such a
yes.
good song.
I
Yeah, I pray
know.
for your healing. The keys.
Yes, exactly. Yes.
I
Oh
said,
my
okay, you better take
god.
us to church.
Oh my
Neo Soul
god.
Church.
Yes.
Okay.
So good. So good.
Yeah, those are the people that I'm thinking of right now. Is there anybody else? Oh yeah, James Barmore, that's a homie. Siren, very fire. They're a group of Black and brown, queer, and trans folks that make just genre-defying music. It's stupid.
Mm,
Oh, Nicotine.
nicotine.
Yes, she's cool. She's a homie of mine. She's from Texas. Very like if Jill Scott was in the South and was leaning more on the poetry side, but
Oh,
still got the vocals, but like really leaning into the poetry, that's like her. That's like her
okay.
vibe. Like sultry, like southern. It's a moment. It's a whole thing. And then we love Emma V.
So this is kind of off topic, but not really. Not really. Not
Get to the point. Get to the point, Nikki. What is it? What is that?
So, are you reading anything interesting or read something that totally just caused an explosion in your mind?
Hmm. Oh yeah, they had this line. Def had this line. They in their Patreon, they had dropped a new verse, and they have this line that said, "My life has a guest list, and listen, it's short. Left the luggage at the crib. I don't trip anymore. Just informed on what isn't support. Look yourself in the mirror. That's a different discourse. The small is the all. That's the mirror that I'm coming to. Not everyone can come with you. It's fine if they don't fuck with you. Stillness be the biggest move. No matter how much it hurt, you gotta learn to love the truth. Looking inside an elder's eyes. See a hallway of sacrifice." But I love that line of look yourself in the mirror. That's a different discourse.
Mm, yeah.
We've had no choice but to all look in the mirror so many times recently, and it's going to continue to increase. And yeah, it's like the sooner you get comfortable with your shadow, the sooner you get comfortable with those parts of yourself that you were once embarrassed of, it's like
Mm,
the sooner you can get free from the shit. And so I
right.
think that's something I've been sitting a lot with. My therapist got some gems, but I ain't giving those to y'all. Y'all don't get that. Y'all gonna have to pay them. Y'all gonna have to pay them. And I'm not telling you who it is because y'all ain't getting my therapist. Anyways, but yeah.
Oh my God.
I was like, my therapist got some gems, but that's gonna give too much of my business. And I don't feel like trying to decode that right now in real time. So that's what y'all get. Shout out Dev Sounds. Shout out Professor Dev.
Yes, awesome. So we are at time. Well, we're over
Yes.
time, but
It's fine.
you know what? I wish I could. We can just keep going.
okay.
Honestly, I really
It's
wish we can
okay.
keep going.
It's all
Because
Gucci.
I love talking to you so much.
Oh,
Like
thank you.
seriously,
Likewise. It's the N synergy.
yes. So
I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you
you
for having
too.
me.
Thank you for being here.
Oh, likewise. I'm thankful that we still here, child.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I guess that's it. I guess
Yeah.
we're fading to the background.
Yeah. So that was NYALLAH. Aren't they just awesome? It's always so good talking with them. Their music is literally fire. Like seriously, it is fire. Definitely check it out. It is available on all streaming platforms and Bandcamp.
So cold, so you know your love so cold, so behind. You know your love so cold, so behind. You know your love so cold. You know your love so behind. You know your love so cold. You know your love so behind. Your love is so complacent, so outdated. Bet the one before me got you jaded. Sick of all the fuss and fight. How did you think all your lies would be somehow acceptable? I told you the first time, the last time, the third, the fourth, the fifth. Nah, honey, I'm not tolerating it. Told you to fall on back, go ahead and sit. Cause you know your love's so cold, so behind. Your love is, yeah, 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 yeah. Your love is no, your love is yes. You know your love's so behind. You know your love's so, yeah, so behind, so behind. Swear that you would go and take your time, but here you go, retracing why, and here you go, acting unkind. You told me after the second and the third that you wouldn't approach me absurd. Keep on talking, but I know what I heard. I know I deserve a love that's worth loving. You claim that you've been trying, but I know that you've been lying. Why? You claim that you've been tired. Huh. I'll show you what that's all about. You say that you've been growing, but your actions never speak that loud. You claim that you've been trying, but your actions never speak that loud. Your love so cold, so mid, so resistant. Why won't you let yourself grow so cold, so thin? Where's your patience? I've been known I'm deserving of more. How about you walk out that door? Say you walk out that door. Yeah, say you walk out that door. No, 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 yeah, 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 yeah. You're so cold, so behind, so cold, yeah, so behind, yeah. You're so behind, yeah, yeah, so behind. But you know what's really wild? Like, I was about to give you more of my loving, right? Ain't that weird? Like, I almost was about to give you more. Like, you almost got my ass. You almost got me with the gaslighting, the manipulation, the bullying. Like, honestly, I've dealt with bigger bullies than you. You know, I already knew what it was when you stepped inside the door. I was just trying to give you a chance, you know, but that's why we don't give chances. I learned that the first time, ain't no use in the second, third, or the fourth time, cause if you was gonna get it together, shit, you would've got it together the first time, you know. But instead, your love was hurtful, and your love was unkind, and your love is cold. Your love is really whack. Like, your love is, your love is.
Thanks for listening to When We See Each Other. I'm your host, Nikkiesha McLeod. This show is produced and edited by Jeremiah McVeigh. If you like what you hear in this show, please rate and review it in Good Pods, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere else that allows that. And please follow us wherever you happen to listen to podcasts. Doing so helps us to expand our audience and is much appreciated. You can find more information about this show at stereoactivemedia.com/whenweseeeachother. And you can get in touch with us at stereoactivemedia@gmail.com. Also, follow us on Instagram and TikTok under the handle WWSEO Pod. Talk to you later.
This podcast is produced by Stereoactive Media.